Yo guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Underworld king and got Harem with Kaguya and Grayfia? Huge shout out to TheFearWithinUs for this story. If you want more awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So you're yelling me that during our battle we managed to get trapped in another dimension? Naruto asked the white-haired goddess known as Kaguya Otsutsuki, otherwise known as the first being to inherit chakra, frantically. For the 100th time, yes. She fired back, folding her arms. Can't you bring us back? Naruto asked, hoping to go back to Konoha to see his friends once more. The proclaimed rabbit goddess looked at Naruto tiredly with a sigh and face-palmed herself. Didn't you think I tried going back? She said rhetorically. Plus, this place doesn't seem half bad, right? The people who inhabit this world, from what I sense, inhabit no chakra. Naruto's eyes widened upon the revelation, with his mouth agape. He indeed noticed that as well when they both entered this dimension of sorts, as he used his senses to scout around the area. And no chakra? How could this people even live a happy life? I refuse to live in a world like this, Kaguya. Let's hurry up and go back home, he said before getting smacked in the head by a certain ivory-haired woman. I think this world is much better in comparison to ours, as it seems to be in peace for now. Although the quality of the air is not bad, but could be better, she said to Naruto, taking a deep breath. A sad sigh escaped Naruto's lips as he sat down and gazed at the huge puffy clouds that were slightly blocking the bright sunlight. So what are we going to do now? He asked Kaguya beside him, who was in the same boat as Naruto, looking at the clouds. Just because we accepted a temporary ceasefire when we entered this dimension, it does not mean we will travel together nor be allies, she said with a monotone voice. A tick can be seen on Naruto's forehead as he leaned closer to Kaguya, looking at her eyes, and said, We have to work together for now. Our chances of going home is greater if we work together. And who says I want to go home? After all, this place is everything I could ever dream of, a world without chakra. All I have to do is to kill you in order to rule this world, seeing how there is no one able to defeat me, she said, making her voice demonic. Although it was all for good fun, she just wants to see how the blonde would react. PP, please don't, we're friends, alright? He stuttered. He knew that if he had Sasuke and the Shinobi Alliance with him, he might have a chance taking Kaguya on. Keyword might. I'm just kidding, Naruto-kun, of course we're friends, Kaguya said too sweetly for Naruto's taste and creeping him out, seeing her mood change a quick 180 degrees. Why, yeah, friends, he muttered to himself quietly. Unfortunately, Kaguya heard him and smirked. Oh? Unless Naruto-kun want to be more than friends, Kaguya said as she leaned against Naruto's shoulder affectionately. Naruto's face transformed to the shade of his mother's hair instantaneously, and started making incoherent words and sentences, gaining a devilish smirk from Kaguya, glad that she was getting the reaction she was hoping to get. Enough playing around, we need to do research on this planet and its inhabitants. From what I'm sensing, everyone here is harmless, Kaguya said seriously as Naruto and she walked to the town where they sensed the town was located. As they arrived within the town, they were marveling the beautiful buildings, one of which caught Naruto's attention. Ramen restaurant! He screamed as he ran towards the place, getting weird looks from the town's inhabitants. Kaguya giggled melodiously as she followed. However, she retracted her horns and deactivated her third eye and Rinnegan, showing her lavender-colored eyes, knowing that the people will give her weird looks, knowing how the people in the elemental nations reacted to her appearance in the past. The Underworld. Two powerful devils can be found at a bar, telling stories about recent occasions and reminiscing about their youth. Did you notice it, Surzex? A green-haired man asked to his fellow comrade as he looked out the bar's windows, with a worried feeling teeming in his gut as he felt a spike of energy in the small Japanese town of Hakone. The red-haired man identified as Surzex Gremry, otherwise known as Surzex Lucifer, one of the four great rulers of the Underworld, who has been given the title of Lucifer due to his legendary exploits, and previous heir to the Gremry house before giving it to his sister upon his promotion as Lucifer. Massaged his temples as he glanced toward his colleague with a knowing look. Of course, I believe we should head there now before the other factions can encounter the two strange energy signatures. Ajuko, I suggest you bring your peerage as backup, watching our backs from a distance. Alright, I'll get my peerage ready just in case this turns nasty. Bring yours as well, especially your queen. Ajuka said, also known as Ajuka Beelzebub, another ruler of the underworld known for his intellect and his innovative inventing abilities. Also, I'm going to the outskirts of Hakone to set up a teleportation beacon/circle since I sense those two heading to the small town. I'll meet you on the outskirts of Hakone. I'll tell Sarah-chan to get my peerage ready along the way. Surzex said, nodding at the first part as he started to get ready to teleport to his queen to relay the message. I'll also tell Grayfia about this, although I'm sure she's noticed this as well. Ajuka said to his friend as he teleported away to send another the underworld's rulers, Grayfia Lucifuge, infamously known throughout the three factions as Grayfia Leviathan or the Strongest Devil. Different location in the underworld. Leviathan-sama, what's wrong? One of her maids asked their mistress, seeing her calculating gaze as she stood up from her elegant throne. I sense something powerful. Really powerful in Hakone, the gray-haired beauty said as she shocked her servants, knowing that she will not call something really powerful. She then walked towards the teleportation circle only to be stopped by the sudden appearance of her peer Ajuka. Seeing the look in her face, Ajuka knew he didn't need to explain, seeing her expressionless and calculating expression. Surzex and I will meet you at the outskirts of Hakone. I'll set up the beacon once I arrive. Hopefully whoever those beings are better be peaceful. Yes, indeed, to think that their energy would reach this part of the world. I'll get my equipment ready and prepare till your beacon is set up. Grayfia replied, walking towards her armory to grab her needs. It still baffles me knowing that you don't have a peerage yet. You are renowned as the strongest devil in the underworld. Ajuka chuckled to himself as he continued. Perhaps it's your demon resurrection ability? He said to particularly no one as he left with a bright light. Damn, how much more can he eat? He better have the money to pay for this. Is he even human? How is he still in shape? What's the world record for eating ramen in one sitting? Those were the voices of the spectators watching Uzumaki Naruto devouring miso ramen like it was nothing. As Naruto seemed like to take a break eating, bald man approached the two with the check. From the looks of it, Kaguya identified the man as the restaurant's owner. Excuse me, sir, I do not want to insult you in any way, shape, or form, but do you have enough money to pay for the food you've just eaten? He asked politely towards Naruto as he showed the bill, which showed the total price of the meal. 43 bowls of miso ramen. 34,400 yen. Oolong tea. 700 yen. Total. 35,100. Naruto had a worried look in his face. He didn't know how to pay the man. After all, he left his frog wallet in a secure location in Konoha once the war began, plus he had no idea what kind of currency they have in this world. Naruto then began to look at Kaguya expectantly, hoping for a miracle. Kaguya glanced at Naruto with a look that said, "You owe me." Kaguya sweetly smiled towards the man and reached towards her hidden pocket in her kimono and grabbed a gold bar and handed it to the man. The man's eyes widened as he grabbed the bar. He identified the gold bar to see if it is legitimate or not. Needless to say, he was baffled when he found out it is the real deal. The gold bar Kaguya gave him weighs approximately 400 ounces and is worth about $443,600 as of that day, which when converted to yen, it is 53,974,586. Ms. You do know this costs more than the whole city block? He asked Kaguya with a sweat drop, hoping that she was serious for giving a gold bar as payment. Kaguya smirked, patting herself for figuring out that gold is a rare luxury in this world. How did she find out? It was not that hard. She noticed people wearing golden rings, bracelets, necklaces, and some golden bracelet that told the time on the way to the restaurant. Yes, I do know. Please accept this as payment for my blonde friend over here, she said, making a pointing gesture towards Naruto. Bystanders watched the scene in awe. No one just gives a gold bar away for payment for ramen like ever. Normally people would be skeptical if they would just give you a gold bar as payment. However, taking a closer look at the woman, her appearance literally screamed high class with her high-collared Harem kimono that complements her appearance elegantly. The men described her as a goddess in their minds. If only they knew. Thank you. Tell your friend he can have as much ramen as he desires today, the owner said with shock laced in his voice, knowing that he became 54 million yen richer. Yosh! All you can eat ramen keep em coming old Mao W. Naruto said before getting pummeled to the head by Kaguya. You've already eaten too much now, come on, let us learn more of this place. Kaguya said as she stood up from her seat and walked towards the exit, leaving confused and baffled bystanders. Naruto sighed knowing she was right and followed suit. As Kaguya and he exited out of the restaurant, he asked her a question. How'd you get that gold bar in the first place? Kaguya grinned and said, As I reached towards my pocket, I used my creation of all things power and created a gold bar similar to the ones my clan kept during the old times. Suga. Could you create miso ramen for me? Naruto asked with pleading eyes, dreaming of the different kinds of ramen Kaguya can make for him. Do I look like a chef to you? No. Now come on, is sense something foul, not evil, but foul nearby, she said as she looked around. Yeah, I've noticed that as well, let's go investigate, Naruto said seriously, slightly confusing Kaguya, seeing his attitude change from his usual childishness to seriousness. I suggest concealing our chakra. We've been carelessly emitting out massive waves of our chakra upon our arrival, Kaguya said, minimizing her chakra output as Naruto nodded upon her suggestion. The two then walked casually towards the energy signatures, which they sensed to be towards the outskirts of the town. Outskirts of Hakone. At the outskirts of Hakone, near the woods, Ajuka Beelzebub, Surzex Lucifer, Seraphal Citri, and Grayfia Leviathan were conversing with each other, wondering what happened to their energies, noticing it has suddenly disappeared. TSK. They must have sensed us and are heading towards us, or they've teleported away, said a frustrated Ajuka who was caressing his chin. They are coming to us, Grayfia said with a hint of confidence, as she got the attention of her comrades. What makes you say that, Graytan? Seraphal asked with an eyebrow arched upwards. Grayfia took a deep breath and said, Well, first of all, there is nothing important in this particular town. All artifacts have been taken, from what I've heard, meaning they either went to this town to eat, sleep, or to simply pass through. Secondly, our energy signature along with Surzex and Ajuka's peerage nearby add up, no matter how hard we hide it, making us easily recognized if one of them is a censor. Seraphal smiled and playfully elbowed Grayfia, catching her off guard, making her stumble, and said, You're overthinking this too much, Graytan. And did I just catch you off guard? You better sharpen up your skills or there'll be a new Leviathan soon. Grayfia glared at Seraphal as she looked at her with a devilish smirk, knowing she got into her nerves. Noticing the tension between the two rivals, Ajuka pushed Surzex between the two. Surzex glared at his friend, whom had a look that said, You deal with this. Surzex sighed, told his wife, Sarah-chan, now is not the time to play around, this is serious. No fun! Seraphal childishly yelled towards her husband. Ahem. Ajuka coughed as he garnered the attention. The three then continued. If what Grayfia said is right, I suggest we send our peerage back and send them on standby in the Underworld. After all, we do not want to send the beings who are in this town the wrong message, perceiving us as aggressors. I agree, Sarah-chan, send the message to the guys. Surzex commanded Seraphal as she nodded and went to Surzex and Ajuka's peerage's hiding spot. Am I the only one that's surprised that the angels and fallen angels aren't here to investigate the sudden energy surge? The scarlet-haired Lucifer said to his colleagues. I am as well, although this area used to be owned by devils before, and now that we're here they may think that we're here for an event of sorts, Ajuka said, gaining nods from Grayfia and Surzex. When Seraphal came back, the four decided to go into the town and start searching for the two beings, only to be stopped by a loud voice talking. The four quickly hid in a nearby bush as the voice became more comprehensible. Naruto and Kaguya. Burp! Naruto belched loudly, only to be scolded by Kaguya for being crude. Sorry, Mom, Naruto said cheekily to Kaguya, getting Kaguya flustered. Shut up! She yelled to Naruto whilst waving her arms in the air frantically, earning a chuckle from Naruto. As they got closer to the energies, they pinpointed it to a gigantic luscious bush. What the hell? After that long walk, it led us to an energy-producing bush. I could have been eating ramen the entire time than to discover a bush with energy, Naruto yelled, earning a sweat drop from the four devils concealed by the bush. Don't be too rash, look, Kaguya said as she pointed towards footprints laced in the dirt and mud that leads towards the bush. Naruto then activated his Sage mode and quickly identified the four devils Sura, saying, "I know you're in there, I can sense you now more precisely." The four devils. "I know you're in there, I can sense you now more precisely." They heard the voice. Ajuka, being the logical one of the bunch, decided to make his presence noticed and said, "Alright, just let us come out and we will talk." As they exited, the men noticed a woman with exquisite facial features, her long ivory-colored hair that almost reached the ground, and her elegant kimono. She was beautiful indeed, making Ajuka blush and Surzex blush lightly, wishing his wife did not notice. While the women noticed a blonde-haired young man with piercing azure-colored eyes, cute whisker marks on both sides of his cheek, and his overly oranged-out jumpsuit, while Serafal looked at Naruto with a calculating look and thinking about ways to punish her husband, seeing him blush at another woman. Grayfia, on the other hand, looked at the blonde with wide eyes and felt her cheeks redden, seeing what she envisioned as her dream man. She shook her head as she studied the two. "Yo!" the blonde exclaimed towards the four, breaking them out of their quiet stupor. Ajuka stepped ahead of his colleagues and introduced he and his friends. "Greetings! I'm Ajuka Beelzebub, one of the four great Satans of the Underworld, and with me is Surzex Lucifer, Grayfia Leviathan, and Surzeka's wife Serafal Citri. Surzex and Grayfia are also one of the great Satans, and you two are?" The two looked at each other with a smirk. Naruto introduced himself first, enthusiastically, like how his deceased master used to introduce himself. "I'm Uzumaki Naruto, otherwise known as the Toad Sage of Mount Mayaboku and the Orange Hokage." The four became curious, knowing that he is a sage and the Hokage, whatever that is. Ajuka and Grayfia gained a sweat drop, thinking, "Not another Serafal!" Naruto, seeing he was getting little to no reaction, face planted to the ground, thinking, "Ero-sen, I know now how you feel." Kaguya stepped towards the devils and introduced herself as well. "I'm Otsutsuki Kaguya, known as the Rabbit Goddess and the progenitor of chakra." As she finished, she activated her two horn protrusions and activated her Rinna Sharingan third eye, which unnerved Surzex and Serafal. Grayfia looked at her with a calculating look, and Ajuka looked at her horns and eyes with a curious look. Surzex decided to break the silence and said, "Now let's get down to business. Why are you two here?" Naruto looked at him with a serious expression and explained, "It all started with the first Great Shinobi War. It all started with the fourth Great Shinobi War when dash." That was all Naruto could say to the Super Devils until he got cut off by a familiar voice in his head. "Gaki! You just don't tell your whole life story to random people, especially devils." Kurama reprimanded the blonde. "But aren't you a demon as well?" replied the blonde to his fox friend. "Idiot, there's a difference between demons and devils. The first one is the spelling, and the second one is that I'm a huge-ass fox and they're puny humanoid bats," Kurama stated, proudly puffing his orange chest, earning a sweat drop from Naruto, seeing how his two reasons about demons and devils being different made absolutely no sense. "Okay, but you don't expect me to just lie to them, right? It's not in my nature," Naruto said to the fox. "I'll deal with the talking," said a voice which startled the two comrades, which they quickly identified as Kaguya, seeing her breathtaking beauty floating above them in Naruto's mindscape. "Though would you lighten up this place a little? This sewer-themed mindscape gives me the creeps." Which says a whole lot, Kaguya said as she snapped her fingers like a certain blonde Hokage did before, and changed the place into what seemed to be a huge luscious forest that inhabits a gigantic fox den that could shelter a certain Biju with 9 tails. "Also, Kurama, where were you the whole time?" Naruto asked. "Sleeping now. Get back to reality. I have a den to test out," Kurama said as he walked toward his new home. "Are you okay? You've stopped your story?" Surzex said while waving his hands in front of Naruto's face. Kaguya slowly approached the four devils and said with a demonic voice, "We do not need to tell you our story, for it is personal. Please tell us so that we could decide whether or not you two are threats to the devils," Surzex said, kneeling down with praying hands before getting kicked in the stomach by his wife, Serafal, whom told him afterwards to act more mature. Kaguya then said with a minuscule smirk, "Naruto and I are threats only when provoked, plus why would we tell you our stories? I imagine angels are more trustworthy than devils. We are trustworthy devils' honor plea dash." That was all Surzex said before getting elbowed to the rib by Ajuka, whom whispered to him, "Would you just shut up? You are digging us into a bigger hole. Let Grayfia handle this. Last time I checked she was in charge of foreign affairs, not you. Grayfia then looked at Kaguya with an obvious smirk plastered into her face, saying, I believe Naruto was the one telling the story of his origin, not you. At this point Naruto and the devils besides Grayfia went to a safe distance away from the white-haired and gray-haired beauty watching form the sidelines, as Surzex and Seraphol would call it. The devils were also surprised by Grayfia calling someone with an affectionate suffix, and a nickname, something Grayfia has never done before. Kaguya's third eye twitched while her hands started to ball up into fists after hearing Grayfia say Naruto's nickname, for she has developed a little crush on the blonde the little time they had together. Like I told you, this is personal for us, and we won't tell it to strangers, especially devils, easily. Kaguya said with a demonic voice once more, but this time added some killing intent which did not intimidate Grayfia by no means, whom still had an stonic expression. How about we make a deal? Grayfia said to the white-haired goddess. Enlighten me, I don't even think you have anything to offer. Kaguya replied, almost immediately getting back to her normal voice. You and I will have a match right here, right now. If I win, you tell me what your intentions are and your story. And if you win, I will do what request you give, although it has to be logical and not possibly catastrophic. Kaguya now had a bloodthirsty smile in her face as she said, Deal. I've been thinking of ways to beat you, gray-haired bitch. Grayfia was now gritting her teeth, however smiled once she came up with a counter. Good. Now let me set up a barrier so that we won't cause too much damage. After all, you probably won't even get a scratch on me. You do need 3 eyes to see instead of 2. Pathetic for a person to claim that they are a goddess, countered Grayfia as she set up a huge invisible dome-shaped barrier. From the sidelines. Shit, this is getting intense. Normally I would stop this, but this is way too entertaining, Surzex said, summoning popcorn for Seraphol, and he. For once I am going to agree with you. It has been a while since I saw Grayfia fight someone strong, Ajuka said while grabbing a handful of popcorn from Surzex's bag. So you finally agree with my greatness, Ajuka-kun? Surzex yelled to his friend as he had the biggest grin in his face. No. You are still a childish Satan who has yet to mature, Ajuka said, as a matter of fact, making Surzex groan while his wife giggled beside him. Seraphol, deciding to change topics, asked Naruto, Who do you think will win, Naruto-san? Naruto had a calculating gaze looking over the two women while he was slowly caressing his chin. I would say Kaguya-chan, though I barely know anything about Grayfia-chan's skill level, so I would just wait and see. Seraphol had a teasing look in her face as she teased Naruto. Oh? So Grayfia-chan now, my so soon? Naruto, now with light pink dusted into his cheeks, replied. Well, to be fair, she called me Naruto-kun first, so I'll just return the favor by calling her Grayfia-chan. SHHHHHH. The battle is starting, Naruto-san and Sarah-chan, Surzex said while stuffing popcorn in his mouth. Kaguya and Grayfia were now staring at each other with cold gazes as they got ready with their respective fighting stances. Kaguya decided to attack first, charging towards Grayfia with speeds only Naruto could catch up. Fast, Grayfia and the devils thought. She was ready to hit Grayfia with her fist, thinking it would be enough to knock out the Leviathan. As she reached closer and closer, she was stopped by Grayfia, whom has a firm grip at her fist, surprising Kaguya in the process. And here I thought Naruto-kun is the only one able to counter me when I go fast. You intrigue me, Grayfia Leviathan, Kaguya said as she respected Grayfia's skills somewhat. But that doesn't mean she liked her. In fact, the moment Kaguya met Grayfia, she was wary of her, knowing she has an arsenal of skills waiting to be used. The same could be said for you, bitch, Grayfia said while Naruto and the others sweat drop. She needs to polish up her taunt game, cause right now it's weak as hell, Naruto said as the 3 devils nodded in agreement. Kaguya ignored Grayfia's comment and started weaving signs at high speed, internally yelling, Fire release! Great fire annihilation! The fire was very intense and had a very wide spread, making dodging basically impossible. Grayfia's eyes widened, seeing the sea of flames heading her way. She knew she couldn't escape. She remained calm before an idea popped in her mind, causing the woman to smirk. Naruto was surprised to see Kaguya use a technique of that caliber this early on with the potential to kill Grayfia. He and the others were getting ready to go in and help Grayfia, but was stopped seeing her smirk, knowing she had a plan as the flame engulfed her entire body. Kaguya continued to spew out the flames for 10 seconds until she knew the gray-haired woman was ashes. As the smoke cleared out little by little, they saw a silhouette of Grayfia standing tall, holding something in her right hand which resembles that of a shield. A large one at that. "You have to try harder than that, a freak?" Grayfia said as she blushed, hearing the others laugh at her pathetic attempt of taunting. Kaguya stood there with a dumbfounded expression before genuinely smiling. "Oh, I see. Well, it does look like I have to try harder." Kaguya closed her left eye as a tear of blood became visible. As she opened her eye, she muttered, "Amaterasu! Heavenly illumination!" as she looked directly where Grayfia is at. In the sidelines. "Well, Grayfia is done for," Naruto said, confusing the devils nearby him. "Why is that, and that is this Amaterasu technique Kaguya-san did?" Ajuka questioned the blonde. "Amaterasu is an eye technique that produces jet black flames hotter than any sun, and can be targeted to someone by looking directly at them. The flames are said to burn for 7 days and 7 nights and will continue to burn until the inflicted is reduced to ashes. Also, nothing can put out the flames only until the person is completely charred or the caster deactivates the fire," Naruto explained to the devils, causing them to drop their jaws at a fatal move. "Of course there has to be some drawbacks, right?" Surzex asked Naruto whilst tilting his head. Naruto chuckled and said, "Of course there is. If it is used too much, the caster can turn blind due to the strain it does to one's eye." This caused the others to sigh in relief until Naruto dropped another bomb at them. "But this doesn't apply to Kaguya. She can use this technique as much as she wants." "Troublesome," muttered Ajuka as Surzex and Serafall nodded, while Naruto chuckled as he reminded him of his lazy and genius friend Shikamaru. "Although what's that shield she's using? Never see that before?" Naruto asked the devils. "To be frank, I don't even know. This is my first time seeing it as well," Ajuka said. "Maybe she just got it," Surzex hypothesized. "I guess we'll just have to ask her about it later," Naruto said as they continued to watch the fight. Back to the battle. As the flames came closer and closer, Grayfia used her shield, which to Kaguya and Naruto's surprise negated the flames and reflected some back, though the shield did get a bit damaged. A CS::GO player would identify the shield as going from factory new to field tested. "How?" Kaguya said as she stood dismayed, wondering how the flames didn't incinerate her. "It's that damned shield. How is it doing that?" Kaguya demanded the Leviathan. Grayfia had a huge grin and said, "I think it's my turn explaining. This shield is called the Svalin, which is one of many legendary shields. It is said that stands before the sun and protects the earth from burning, thus negating your flames, although I am surprised it got damaged somewhat." "Amazing, you keep on surprising me, Grayfia. However, it's time I take this seriously," Kaguya said as she closed her right eye. Sidelines. "Amazing to think she had such a shield. I wonder where she got it?" Surzex questioned out loud. "Forget that, Kaguya-san is just getting serious?" Serafall squeaked childishly. "Yup, I think it's safe to say this match was decided before it even began," Naruto stated. "Don't count Grayfia out yet. She is called the strongest devil for a reason," Ajuka said to Naruto. "Good point," Naruto replied back. Battle. As Kaguya opened her right eye, she whispered, "Tsukuyami! Moon Reader!" The genjutsu worked flawlessly as Grayfia was caught in the illusion. Naruto knew Grayfia had no chance, seeing how she didn't know that she should avoid looking at Kaguya's eyes. Genjutsu World. Where am I?" questioned Grayfia. "What the hell?" Grayfia said as she was crucified in a cross-like object. She would have tried to escape, but was stopped when she saw Kaguya appear in front of her. "Right now you are in my world where I control everything," Kaguya emphasized as she summoned 100 crosses with Grayfia on each and every one. "Now let's have fun, shall we?" Kaguya said evilly as each of her clones summoned a sword and stabbed Grayfia in the stomach. This went on for what seemed to be an hour in Grayfia's mind until Kaguya, knowing she was keeping track of time, said, 1 hour and 59 minutes and 59 seconds left, Grayfia-chan." At hearing that, Grayfia took the pain quietly, never once showing an ounce of pain, something Kaguya was ticked off about, though she was surprised that she is able to withstand such pain. Real world 1 second later. As Kaguya blinked and massaged her eye, you can hear Grayfia as she fell into the ground along with her shield as her body was sweating crazily. Looks like I dash. That was all the ivory-haired goddess said until she collapsed to the ground. Naruto came to the rescue and picked up Kaguya and a clone pick-up Grayfia bridal style. We need to get them to a hospital quick, Naruto said frantically, feeling Kaguya's chakra draining uncontrollably, which confused the blonde. Quickly grab onto me, we shall go to the Phoenix family and request for their tears, Ajuka said as the clone grabbed onto him, while the real Naruto grabbed Surzex as they teleported away. Interesting, looks like she will be a great addition for my group, a voice said as it watched the whole event. Kaguya Otsutsuki, you are interesting indeed, the voice said as it left the woods. Underworld. Ugh. So you're telling me that she's stuck in a coma for an unknown amount of time? Naruto yelled to the green-haired Mao as they talked about Kaguya's condition. Sadly yes, though it puzzles me. According to my reports, everything about her is fine. It's like she's been put into a deep slumber of sorts, Ajuka said to the blonde. What about Grayfia over there? Naruto asked, making a pointing gesture towards a hospital bed where Grayfia is currently lying with IVs and wires in parts of her body. She'll be fine externally, she just got minor burns and cuts from Kaguya's attacks. Though mentally it's a different story, Ajuka said in a serious tone, slightly worrying everyone in the room. Why? What's wrong with her, Ajuka-tan? Seraphol asked with a semi-serious tone while tilting her head out of curiosity. Well, that Tsukuyami attack that Kaguya did strained her mind. That could possibly make her suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder when she wakes up. Do you mind telling me what the Tsukuyami does to the inflicted by the way, Naruto-san? Ajuka said, looking at Naruto as he said the last sentence. Naruto sat down on a nearby chair side and said, Tsukuyami is a genjutsu technique where when her Manji-Iko Sharingan or Rinne Sharingan comes to contact with the opponent's eyes, the adversary gets trapped in an illusion completely and goes to a world under the caster's control. It can alter the perception of time with ease within the illusion to make a few seconds seem like many days as a means to torture the target, whether by inflicting pain by stabbing them within the illusion or making them remember horrible memories. This often makes the inflicted incapacitated for a substantial amount of time. The three super devils in the room widened their eyes at hearing about such a destructive technique. An eye spell that could incapacitate an opponent by just looking at him or her, that's unheard of. Well, besides the powers of Medusa. Naruto broke them out of their shocked trance as he exclaimed, Where the hell are we anyways? Surzex chuckled, seeing how a minute ago the blonde was like a scientist explaining their discoveries to the scientific community, then suddenly becoming a goofball. Naruto reminded him of himself at times. We are in the Underworld, Naruto-san, inside a hospital room exclusively for Maos or any high-ranking individual. Surzex explained to the blonde, getting a nod of understanding. They then heard muttering from Grayfia's bed, hearing muffled sounds such as, Stop, is that all you got, rabbit ears? Naruto looked towards the worried devils and said, I'm really sorry for what Kaguya did to your friend. I really did not expect her to take things too far. Seraphol then said to the blonde, Don't worry about it, Naruto-san. Both of them knew the risks as they started the fight. Also, can you explain to us about this mango sharing gun you speak of? Ajuka nodded upon hearing Seraphol's statement, as he magically summoned a notebook and pen to his hands. Naruto chuckled at Seraphol's attempt to day Manji-Iko Sharingan and said with a smile, Of course, but first of all, please don't put suffixes in my name. It makes me feel ancient like rabbit ears over there. As he glanced towards Kaguya. Let's see, first of all, the Manji-Iko Sharingan is an upgraded version of the normal Sharingan. One explanation later. Whoa, so cool, where can I get one? Surzex yelled excitedly as he balled both his hands and moved them up and down. Idiot, can't you see it's a genetic thing? You can't just get the eyes just because you want one, reprimanded Ajuka as Surzex sulked in the corner of the room. Actually, you can technically get a Sharingan eye, Naruto said as he caught the attention of the devils, even more so with Surzex as stars became visible in his eyes. Tell me! Tell me! Tell me, dot! Surzex said as he got onto his knees and moved closer to the blonde. I'm quite interested as well, Ajuka said as Seraphol nodded. Naruto made a come here gesture, making the devils go near the blonde. It's a secret, Naruto said as he yelled the last part. The three super devils then face planted in the ground with Surzex crying like a child because he can't get a Sharingan. So what are we going to do now? Naruto asked aloud. Surzex composed himself and said, Actually, I have a favor to ask you. Everyone then looked at Surzex waiting for a response. Surzex opened his mouth, but before he could formulate the words, the door burst open, surprising everyone with the exception of Kaguya and Grayfia. Sarah TNNN, the voice squeaked out. Naruto felt a gust of cold air behind him. As he looked behind, he saw a frightened Sarah fall with an ice barrier protecting her. Naruto then looked towards the door to see a split image of Sarah fall except bustier, and Kaguya according to him and his expert knowledge. After being with a certain white-haired pervert for years whom took him to numerous strip clubs, and what not for the sake of training. Naruto has acquired the old sage's tendency of immediately identifying a woman's body before looking at her eyes. Not to say Naruto is a pervert though, as much as he wanted to get rid of this ability he had to face the truth it stuck in his genes. After hearing a story how his father was once a closet pervert, as his master told him only to stop when he met his mother, but that's a story for another time. Somewhere in the afterlife. What's this? I am tingling. I feel satisfied. Proud? What's happening? I only feel like this. Who? The old sage cut himself off as smiled knowingly before yelling. Naruto! You have finally embraced the art of perverseness. You have made me proud. My student Screw bringing peace. You've accepted something much better. The white-haired man shed some tears of joy as he pulled out his notebook to take notes. Cho! Sneezed Naruto. Bless you, Naruto, said the three devils who knew him. The twin Sarah Fall had a confused look in her face while the real Sarah took it upon herself to escape and hid behind her husband. Fish cake? Where? Twin Sarah Fall asked aloud while looking around searching the room for fish cakes as Naruto was getting Snickers from Ajuka and Surzex. Damn it, it's my name! It's supposed to mean Maelstrom! Naruto yelled to the Sarah lookalike as he crossed his arms pouting, earning a kawaii from the Sarah Fall lookalike. Oh? Is it now? Well, sorry Narutan, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Serena Citri, the next Leviathan in line after Graytan over there. The woman now identified as Serena said enthusiastically as she pointed towards Grayfia. And oh! Not another person like Naruto! One is enough in this world. No, this whole dimension. Kurama said sadly as if the whole world got obliterated by a massive Biju bomb. Chill the hell out, Kurama, damn, and hey! It's glad to know that there are some people, well, devils in this world like me. What's the worst that could happen? Plus, I don't even know her. Who knows, she may secret be like Sakura-chan in the inside. Naruto said to his fox buddy inside his mindscape. What's the worst that could happen? You two having kids? You having kids with someone, let's say a female nine-tailed vixen, would be normal since I'm pretty sure the girl would be in the pants in the relationship and put you in your rightful place. Outside the house in a dog house, shut up! But if you had a child with Serena, you're not raising a child, you're raising a true devil. A mass murderer. Kurama said as the fox went back to his den, thinking how would the world be if those two had children, or how it would be like to have children. Stupid furball, I'm too young to have kids, plus I'm not ready. Yet, a blushing Naruto muttered as he got out of his awkward conversation with Kurama, who's been acting pretty childish, weird, and girly recently. Oh? What's this about having kids? I'm down, Narutan, just call me anytime. I wouldn't mind giving away my virginity to someone like you. Serena said sultry in Naruto's ear. Naruto, feeling her hot breath and hearing her statement, turned a shade of red, perhaps even more darker than his mother's hair, and got a minor nosebleed. He also started stuttering out incoherent sentences, earning a giggle from Serena. Surzex coughed, gaining the attention of everyone, snapping Naruto out of his trance. Back to what I was saying, I have a favor to ask you, Naruto-san. Well, what is it? Naruto said bluntly to the Mao, and was glad Kaguya was unconscious. If not, he would have probably gotten a strong elbow blow to the stomach. You see, I have a sister in the human world right now, and I can't help but get worried about her, so can you possibly look out for her for a while? You could still explore the human world, but I imagine you have sort of teleportation power similar to the way we came here. Hell yeah! I just mark this baby down and... Naruto said as he grabbed a special kunai that had a trident-like look and launched it towards the wall behind Surzex with light-like speed. Boo! Naruto said to Surzex, almost giving him a heart attack and an impressed look from the devils in the room as he appeared behind him. Surzex composed himself from getting surprised and resisting the urge of yelling how awesome and badass that was and said, I see, I stand corrected. Back to the favor I will dash dot. I'll do it, Naruto said with a shrug. You mean you'll do it? Surzex asked the blonde. Yes, I'm already bored staying in the hospital despite arriving like 30 minutes ago. I would rather stalk a person watching over them than stay in a room by myself with two unconscious women and wait for days or months till they wake up, Naruto said as he took the kunai of the wall and placed it back in his pocket. A fufu, and here I thought you would have liked. No love being in a room with two unconscious women, Serena said to Naruto seductively, making him blush once more. Serena, stop teasing Naruto-san and be serious for once, Seraphol said with a sigh. Fine, before he leaves can someone tell me what happened to Grayfia-tan over there, and who Naruto is and this white-haired rabbit-looking woman is? Serena said seriously for once. Well, did you feel the massive energy in the human world like an hour or two ago? Ajuka asked of Serena, getting a nod. Well, those two are responsible for it, he said to Serena, making her eyes widen. Suga! I never knew Naruto was so powerful! Serena exclaimed as she ran towards Naruto and hugged his right arm, putting them between her impressive bust as Naruto felt a rush of blood going to his head. And what of Grayfia-tan? She asked, still hugging Naruto's arm as she snuggled closer to his chest. Well, Grayfia-chan and Kaguya-san fought, Seraphol said to her twin, making Serena's eyes widened. Now don't tell me it was a draw? There's no way Grayfia-tan could be placed in a state like that. Surely Grayfia-tan won after passing out of exhaustion? Actually, it's quite the opposite, Ajuka said as she explained what happened during the short yet quite destructive battle between Kaguya and Grayfia. And no way! Serena yelled as she cried like a baby, falling to her knees as she dragged a red Naruto down with her, as she was still hugging his arms. She then let go of Naruto, but before Naruto could escape she hugged him to where his head was smushed between her soft breasts. What's her PRBLM? Said a red-faced Naruto, to the point where you can barely understand it. Seraphol scratched the back of her head and said, Well, you see, Serena-tan had quite a rivalry with Grayfia, whom both once fought to win the title of Leviathan, and seeing how her rival got defeated quite easily slightly unnerves her. I see now how to get out of here. You idiotic brat, just reach in your pocket and Haration out of there as you throw your kunai somewhere, though not out of the window. I don't want you to get hurt. I mean, throw it somewhere safe. Yeah, Kurama said as he pulled Naruto into his mindscape. Oh, right. Thanks, bye, Naruto said as he quickly left his mindscape in hopes of avoiding a conversation on how he is stupid, and thought about how Kurama is getting very, very weird recently. It must have been the ramen. Naruto reached for his pocket and grasped his kunai and threw it to a wall, and Hira shined out of Serena's breasts and grasp. Now does Naruto not like little old Serena? Serena said as she cried harder as a puddle of tears began forming on the hospital floors. While Naruto was in a state of panic thinking of what to say, the other three sane devils in the room had a look of amusement, wondering how this would turn out, as they were pretty much used to Serena. After centuries of putting up with her shit, who wouldn't? No, it's not that I don't like you, I mean I do, I mean as a good acquaintance or a friend. Damn it, Surzex, just tell me where to go, Naruto yelled frantically while his face had a dust of red. Sniff, sniff. Yay! Naruto likes me now, Serena said as she jumped up of pure joy with a jump that resembles what a typical high school cheerleader would do during a cheer. Screw that kid, she's not like you at all, she's even worse, which says a lot compared to you. Get out of there and save yourself from that bipolar devil and find yourself a QB to mate with for the rest of your life, Kurama said to his partner. Naruto ignored what Kurama said, though he was confused about the QB mate part, though was snapped out of his thoughts as he got bear hugged by a happy and blushing Serena as she felt his athletic/muscular body against hers. Surzex decided to break the hug between the two, getting a thank you from Naruto as he tried to regain his breath and a glare and pout from Serena. Damn, I did not expect her to have Bachan-like strength. Naruto, as he inhaled huge breaths of air. Alright, now I'ma show you to your new home in Ko, Naruto-san, Surzex said as he quickly grabbed Naruto and teleported both of them out of the hospital room before Serena could join along. Nuh! Where'd my Narutan go? Serena cried again as she got hit in the head with Serafal's fist, getting a huge bump. Saratan is such a huge Miani. Jealous that her younger twin is more beautiful and successful than her. Such a bully, no wonder why I like Sonatan better, Serena said to her sister, making Serafal gain a tick mark on her forehead. Would you let Naruto be and get on your duty as temporary Leviathan as Grayfia-chan is asleep? Plus, why are you so attracted to Naruto-san? This never happened to you. I was convinced you were a lesbian considering you have not gone out with a guy once in your lifetime. Well, Narutan produces an aura of peace and tranquility which oddly enough I find addicting. Plus he seems to be a nice guy, not to mention good-looking, and he has whisker-like birthmarks on his cheek whiskers. Serena said as she said the last part with a mix of lust and maybe love. Well, I'm glad you finally found a guy to like. He seems to be a pretty nice person as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to watch over Grayfia-chan and Kaguya-san. Now get out! Even you, Ajuka! Serafal yelled with authority, making the two ultimate class devils sweat drop. Naruto's house heir. Mansion in the outskirts of Ko. And that's the whole house tour, my whiskered blonde dimension-hopping friend, Surzex said to Naruto as Naruto gained a sweat drop. If this is just a house in his opinion, I wonder what he thinks a mansion looks like, Naruto thought with a certain nine-tailed fox silently agreeing with him. Well, I've got to go back to work, Naruto-kun. If you don't mind me calling you that, I'll tell you what to do tomorrow, seeing how you got a pretty exhausting day. Also, piece of advice, stay in the house for now and go to your private library and study about this world's culture. Ja-ne, Surzex said as he teleported out of Naruto's new home. Kit, let me just tell you that you are one lucky son of a don't you dare say it, dumpling? Haha, shut up, let me start over. Thank Kami for you meeting Surzex. Now you've got a mansion with 11 huge rooms and an amazing master bedroom, an indoor-outdoor pool and a sauna, a beautiful garden with multiple looking rare plants. This so-called garage filled with, I guess, cool-looking tin cans with wheels, your own office, library, a huge kitchen that I could cook, a chef could cook in comfortably, and a nice natural cave in your backyard perfect for raising kids. For a secret base of operations, Kurama said to his partner. Whoa, since when did you act so girly, the almighty QB? Naruto said innocently. SS, shut up, not get out of here, Kurama said as he ejected Naruto out of his mindscape. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto said as he filled his living room with his clones. Alright, all of you head to the library and learn as much as you can about this world as I go to bed, said Naruto as he commanded his army of clones. Yes, boss! They yelled in unison as they ran like a herd of buffalo to the library. Naruto's room, master bedroom, time 6:54 p.m. Damn, I have to give something to repay Surzekas for this amazing house, well, mansion, Naruto said as he played with the rectangular-shaped object, which when he pressed the power button it opened up the rectangular-shaped black slim box in his room, which made him feel like Gigi when he was with him, when he uses his crystal ball of his. Instead to sleeping, he got hooked on a marathon event as the magical box said it was having all night. The show that he was currently watching was called The Walking Dead. He loved the badass dude with the crossbow, seeing him wreck Edotenside people whom infect each other by biting or eating each other, quite a disturbing way / fetish to influence a person in your army. Eventually Naruto passed out of sheer exhaustion in his fancy bed that made him feel like he was sleeping in clouds, which he guessed what clouds would feel like. Naruto's room, time 11:36 a.m. Naruto shifted around his bed, feeling a certain weight in his chest earlier, but disregarded it, thinking it was probably his pillow, and fell asleep with his eyes closed the whole time, not even bothering to open it. Though now his chest was feeling naked and his chest was starting to itch as if a person's hair was scattered on it. He is hearing cute snores nearby him. Wait, since when could pillows snore? Naruto opened his eyes to see what most men in the whole mortal and supernatural world would kill for. A naked body of a very beautiful woman, not just a normal woman by the way, it was the temporary Leviathan of the Underworld until Grayfia wakes up, of course, the Underworld's treasurer. Also, did I mention one of the richest women in both mortal and immortal world? Well, beside him was Serena Citri, former heir to the prestigious Citri clan after it was given to her by her older sister Sarah Fall Citri, whom now goes by Sarah Fall Gremory, and then gave it to her younger sister Sona Citri due to her thinking being the lady of the Citri clan sounds boring and makes her feel old despite being alive for centuries. Naruto closed his eyes and took a large breath and yelled with the deepest blush his body could make. "What the hell are you doing here? Naked! In my bed!" Chapter end. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Peace out.